16. Rutgers picking up behind the cage. Here comes Kotz. John Neslonsky's the goaltender. Crossfield and the return. Shot and a score. It's Todd Curry pulling the trigger just 24 seconds in.
They change now. The offense for Syracuse will hustle on with the big sticks for Rutgers. We'll see if they don't get a break. Yes!
Right in front. He gives it up nicely to Herger. Herger runs it in the box, feeds right in front. He fanned the shot. Hutton did. Syracuse comes away. Over the years, the names and the faces have changed, but the result has always been the same. It's been 35 years since a Rutgers lacrosse team has been able to defeat Syracuse. In that 1955 game, Bob Kelly a record 8 goals, Bob Andrews a record 8 assists for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, who come in with a record of 8-3 this year, but they're up against a Syracuse team that has won 8 in a row, including an impressive win over the Big Red of Cornell just a couple of nights ago.
Check looks to Crank. Can't do it. Turned away. He's an attack man playing midi. Double spin. Behind the head. Oh! Whoa! Unteachable and unbelievable. Tom Maricek.
Super Sports, a production of Cook Cablevision of Syracuse, presents Syracuse Lacrosse. Today in the Carrier Dome, it's the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers, winners of 8 games and 11 tries, and the number 2 ranked Syracuse Orangemen. And hi again, everybody. Dave Cohn along with Dale Drypulcher. Syracuse has had a couple of down quarters in the last few games against Cornell and before that against Hobart, but they're piling big numbers, big goal totals on the scoreboard, and they've been able to escape, if that's the right word, on the strength of their offense, despite having these letdowns. And Rutgers could be in for a long day today, although, Dale, they may be the first team to try to slow it down on Syracuse.
Well, that's the thing. They may play not to lose too badly. I don't know whether that's going to happen or not, but Syracuse is ready for that, and I think they may have to be more patient today than they have been other days.
Well, we've talked all season long about the Canadian connection, the Gate brothers and Tom Maricek. Rutgers has what you might call the pasta connection. Let's look at their attack. Andy DeSico, Pete Tortorella, and Greg Rinaldi, attack and midfield combined there, and they've put up some big numbers.
That's 120 total points. Very, very impressive. And obviously, if they're going to score, they got to look to those 3 gentlemen. 120 points among those 3 is something Syracuse defenders, I'm sure, know all about.
Plus Luciano and Fusilli to toss in there, a couple of more in that pasta connection. And Rutgers has obviously a very potent offense. But the one key thing we've seen all season long is if you can't control the ball, you can't get the offense in gear. So today it comes down to 2 face-off men, Kirk Pratt for Syracuse and Lou Fusilli for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. And here they are facing off.
Almost unbelievably, Fusilli 84%. Kirk Pratt is an excellent 66%. I think Fusilli may have one of the best face-off men in the country as his adversary now. I think Kirk Pratt has really come along very, very well. Kevin Donahue does a great job of coaching him on face-offs, and he's been particularly impressive and getting stronger as the season goes on. So Fusilli could have his hands full, but it might be a little different for Pratt. Fusilli looks to be a little bit bigger than he is, Dave.
Pratt has suffered an injury in the last game. He may be hobbled somewhat. You see his left knee wrapped, but his right knee was concerning him.
Yeah, they did a little bit of a tape job. I think it was more of an abrasion. We'll see if it affects him tonight, but they got some other people that can come in and face off, but Pratt's been numero uno for Syracuse so far this season.
And speaking of injuries and the pasta connection, a guy who at least a name would fit in, John Zilberti, is also hobbling a little bit. He took some big hits in the Cornell game, and he's coming off a game in which he had 9 total points, tying his all-time record. If Zilberti can't go on the attack, we may see Jim Egan, who's had some very good games against Rutgers.
They have a lot of depth, Syracuse does, and Egan is 6'1", half a dozen the other, I think. Zilberti's great, but Egan can fill in, and I don't think that they'll miss him today.
Syracuse is playing their 3rd game in a stretch of 8 days. They've all been physical games. Hobart and Cornell, and Rutgers figures to be another one in that vein. So we'll see as we come back to the starting lineups in the opening face-off. Syracuse and Rutgers coming up next. Let's meet the starting lineups in today's game. For Rutgers on the attack, Steve Luciano, 15 goals, 26 assists. Pete Tortorella, 22 and 19. Andy DeSico, 26 goals and 21 assists. Rutgers midfield featuring Fayetteville Manlius graduate Greg Rinaldi, 25 and 7. Lou Fusilli, 18 goals, 5 assists. Scott Moore, 12 goals and 9 assists. The face-off man, 84% winning ratio, Lou Fusilli. And the Rutgers defense, Jim Ecker with 26 ground balls, Mark Moreau 35 ground balls, and Tim Pritz, who's picked up 9 ground balls. That's the Rutgers defense. They will play in front of the Rutgers goalie, John Schmunk. He's stopped 68% of the shots and allowed 6.2 goals per game. Rutgers coached by Tom Hayes. And now the Syracuse attack, Greg Burns, 12 goals, 4 assists. Co-captain John Zilberti, 16 and 33. And the sensational freshman Tom Marichak, 27 goals and 13 assists. On the midfield for Syracuse, Paul Gate, 20 goals, 14 assists. Gary Gate, 34 and 18, and Rodney Dumpson checking in with 9 goals and 3 assists. Syracuse's face-off man is Kirk Pratt, winning them at a ratio of about 66%. The defense, Pat McCabe, 45 ground balls. Mark Stouffer, 28 ground balls. Jim McNamara, 18 ground balls. McCabe, the master of the poke check on the takeaway. And the Syracuse goalie, Matt Palin, 8.4 goals allowed per game, 62% save ratio.
The Syracuse defenders, 5-10.
Has talked to us on many occasions this year, telling us about the fact that he feels the game of lacrosse could be in jeopardy in terms of popularity if teams decide to slow it down. And Rutgers did exactly that a year ago against Syracuse, and they made the final score 12-9. But Simmons' contention is it is just not good for the entertainment value of the sport to have slowdowns in a game in which is billed as the fastest on 2 feet. So now we'll watch Lou Fusilli face off against Kirk Pratt. Fusilli at 84%. Pratt in the mid-60s in this first face-off. Perhaps will tell the story of the game.
He's trying to power Pratt. He's bigger than Kirk.
Goes through Kirk's legs into the stick of Paul Gate. And here comes Paul. He's bearing in on the goal. He'll fire, and it's wide, but back behind is Greg Burns, so Syracuse will keep it. He had an avenue right from midfield. Once again, Paul Gate wears the orange or the red undershorts, and his brother Gary wears the dark blue. That's one way to spot them, besides their number 19 and 22 respectively. John Zilberti from behind. Rodney Dumpson with it now. The point man is Paul Gate. Quickly into the stick of Gary, and back behind is Zilberti. Eckert applying pressure there, number 36. Syracuse going counterclockwise. Zilberti got a shot to the face, a play-on situation. Marichak from behind. The play is continuing. This is the new rule this year. And as Paul Gate loses control of Mark Moreau, we get the stoppage in play. The foul was committed against John Zilberti.
Looks to me that Rutgers is going to play a little bit of a zone defense and shift and try to get those passing lanes taken up and make Syracuse pay for every shot. But right there, they're going to be man down, as they did pick up a 1-minute slashing penalty.
Now they are a man down. Rutgers facing the potent Syracuse attack. Paul Gate to Gary and John Zilberti. Behind to Marichak. Dumpson in the slot, and a nice point-blank save by John Schmunk as Paul Gate snuck through the slot. Now Syracuse will apply the ride. Zilberti trying to be the harassing man back there. Mark Moreau has it now. He's waiting for some help to come on. Greg Rinaldi, the midfielder, is on. Back it goes to Schmunk. And to the far corner. Syracuse applying the ride. Marichak right there. He may have gotten a stick on that as it comes upfield. And now Rutgers can't come across cleanly, and Phil Schluter dribbles it onto his stick. He's dumped. Back to play. It is Berkeley, Steve Berkeley, getting it to Rinaldi. He's going to be hit from behind by Persing, and now we'll get a whistle.
That's going to be a procedure call. And right in front of Tom Hayes, there's a discussion about Tom Hayes, a little upset.
And we've got an early timeout taken by Tom Hayes. He's going to carry on his beef with the head officials. He doesn't understand this call. No low score in the game. We're only a minute and a half in, and Tom Hayes taking a timeout to talk with Terry Cullen.
Yeah, that's Terry Cullen, and he's talking to him.
He's beefing.
Yeah, that's a good term for it.
Not a happy man is Tom Hayes. Once again, you've got to go back to 1955 for the last time a Rutgers lacrosse team defeated Syracuse.
This is the final Syracuse.
It's a long time to go.
In the dome, the Orange will
but I think that
next Saturday afternoon, 2 o'clock.
This is definitely not a strategic timeout, Dale.
no, it was definitely to calm him and the kids down. And I think it's illegal action, team action, personnel. I don't know. That's what it looked like, the sign he made.
In the meantime, John Desko, the assistant coach, directing the Syracuse huddle with the attack in midfield. Perhaps we'll get an official announcement as to what exactly was the infraction.
We'll see what happens there. Still nobody in the penalty box. Yes, there is somebody, but it's still.
Now that's Eckert, who was in previous on the slash.
Obviously, there was no possession when they called it. It was just a technical. So
let's see who has the ball, because Syracuse has demonstrated the hidden ball trick last couple of games, and is Gary Gate flinging it down to Maricek. Giving it back to Gary Gate. Dealing it off to Rodney Dumpson. Now Maricek to Zilberti. Paul Gates open to the weak side. Off the deflection. Low hard shot. Schmunk and help in the crease by Pritz. And Zilberti going for the steal. He's going to golf it back. They feed it to Paul. They clog up right in front. And they took away his shooting lane. But Syracuse will keep it.
Well, they took it away, but one of these days he's just going to take it and he's going to go through a couple of people. They actually did a nice job defensively. Chris Wagner was there, number one. They got in front as Zilberti really caused all this by knocking the ball down, had Schmunk out. There they are, stopping Gate, and number 35 has dropped off a couple of times. Phil Buckley and jumped into the goal on the offside to help out Schmunk.
Maricek to Gary Gate. He fires it wide. This is unusual now. Syracuse taking about 3 or 4 shots, and they have not cracked the ice yet. John Zilberti feeding near side to Gary Gate with a couple of fakes. Now giving it up. Dumpson, who likes to set up on that side. Zilberti from behind. Up top. Knocked down. Taken away by Moreau. They held his stick momentarily. He's having trouble getting it, so he bats it downfield. McNamara vacuums it and returns it to Gary Gate. Ahead to Paul. Paul is bumped. Feeding Zilberti. It's a pass. It goes astray, and Rutgers takes it back.
Lots of zone defense by Rutgers with the sticks up, and it really does clog up the crease. Very difficult to get a good clear shot off with all those bodies shifting back and forth, and the man on the man with the ball is playing stick on stick.
Rutgers as a team has been piling up some phenomenal shot rates. They haven't had one yet in the game. In fact, they haven't held the ball on the offensive side of the field. And we're nearly 3 minutes into the first quarter. Rutgers has played 3 top 10 teams. They've lost all 3 times. Hopkins, Navy, and Towson State. Syracuse losing also to Hopkins and defeating Towson State in a very close game.
Well, they're trying to, Syracuse riding and trying to force that long clearing pass with that 6-foot stick. They get it all the way over to Moreau. He's going to have to make another long pass.
He goes cross field, and the ball is dislodged by Schluter as he took it away from Fusilli. Now here's Pat McCabe. Crowd roars when a defenseman carries it. Here comes Maricek. Maricek pass is intercepted nicely by the goalie Schmunk. And now the Rutgers Scarlet Knights in a scoreless game. Deep down into the attacking part of the field and from behind, the Knights set up.
Well, McCabe just coming into the screen there. He was way down on that fast break, so they finally got their defense back in and settled.
Scott Moore has it now. Moore goes behind a Tortorella, native of this area, upstate New York. Peter Tortorella looking for Andy DeSico. He tosses it to him, moving against McNamara. DeSico with a couple of fakes.
Looked like he had an inside move. He didn't take it, passed it out to Fusilli.
And the poke check master, McCabe, took it away from Fusilli, and then he picks his pocket again, loops it in the air, and on the bounce, Zilberti will play it. Zilberti, beautiful feet in front. Maricek behind the back and in. It is not a showboat move when Tom Maricek goes behind the back. And that time he went by Schmunk seemingly, and then he burned him from behind.
That's a Canadian classic. As Zilberti, beautiful pass by Zilberti, and they had him shut off to the side with the stick. Watch Maricek. They had him shut off. They were coming across on the normal right-hand side, so he just put it behind his back. You know what's impressive about that, Dave, is how hard the net ripples with that behind-the-back shot. He gets a lot of power off on that.
There's the updated numbers now on Maricek. 28 goals. Second on the team only to Gary Gates' 34. Procedure on the face-off. Syracuse is going to win their second of the game.
You know, Pratt's gotten a lot of those calls, and he knows exactly what's going to happen because he just rushes off the field knowing that he has apparently duped one of the other face-off men into committing an error. He did there.
Syracuse leading it 1-0, 4.5 minutes into the game. John Zilberti knocked away from him by Eckert. Pritz is down there, 32, contending for it. So is Maricek. They avoid stepping in the crease. Zilberti up top, shot just wide. Zilberti's there on the deflection, and Syracuse keeps the ball, and they keep the pressure on John Schmuck.
Hard shot by Cahey, but not there. Zilberti, where he usually is, backing him up behind the crease.
Now Dan Cahey on. Earl Hall, number 7, second midfield. On now for Syracuse. Intercepted, intended for Fred Amaya, taken away by Mark Moreau. The big defenseman goes behind his back into a crowd, and it is McNamara pulling it down. McNamara using the pick by Earl Hall. Knocked away from him and out of bounds. Rutgers will take it away.
Well, that's a good example of how difficult it is to clear with that big stick when you've got to run and you've just grabbed the ball. You haven't had a chance to cradle and set up with the stick, and McNamara just lost it, and that will give. I think they're going to be beyond their own midfield to be back in their own defensive half. Watch McNamara. He just gets it, does get a cradle up, but there the check comes across, and when you get that big 6-foot stick out, that's what happens.
Mike Rogers with that check. He's wearing number 27 today instead of his customary 44. He and Tom Badger apparently have exchanged numbers.
There's an offside there. I thought there were 3 men when Zilberti went over, but the referee, Steve Miller, made the call, and that will be no possession, so it will go to Rutgers, and number 30, Scott Moore, will handle the ball.
That stat on John Zilberti refers to points being scored, assists and goals constituting points. He has not scored a goal in every game. Fusilli on the move against Persing. Nice feed. Moore rifles it by Matt Palum, and we have a tie game at 1-1. It was Fusilli going right and then dumping it back left, and I don't think Palum was quite ready for that.
Well, he really did a nice job of hiding the shot and then just got it off quickly. The hardest shot to stop is when you're not expecting it if a goalie, and let's see it again. There's the clear out and the pass by Fusilli, and they couldn't get stick on stick. He just had too much on. That's 36 square feet, too much to defend when he's that close and can crank.
So Scott Moore ties his game up. Moore coming up with his 13th goal of the year. Now we've got a good one here in the first quarter. Third straight faceoff that goes Syracuse's way. And we have a violation again, but this time it's against Syracuse.
Withholding the ball from play was the call.
One game. Rutgers looking to go up on Syracuse now as they work the ball toward the Syracuse cage. Doug Beeler, James DeWitt-Grad has it now, number 22, goes to the left-handed shot, and he beats his former high school teammate, Matt Palum. And the Scarlet Knights explode off the bench and on the field as they take a 2-1 lead.
A little bit of confusion defensively. He got that on the move, Doug Beeler, and he just doesn't even crank. He just took a hard shot with the left hand, goes down, sets up. He's on Rob Persing, the short stick of the big stick middies, and got him on the short side. This face-off situation is getting interesting.
And this time it's won by Pratt and taken by Pratt. So Syracuse has won 3 of the 4. Pratt may want the shot. Now he gives it up to Paul Gate. Rutgers really collapsing defensively.
Well, they're zoning it up, yeah.
Syracuse into the slot to Burns.
Rutgers takes it.
It's real hard to get the ball in there, Dave, when they got the zone and all the sticks up and they're trying to take all the passing lanes away.
Syracuse applying pressure, though. Now Moreau has to backtrack. He'll flip it cross field as Rutgers will try to come up on the far sideline. A return pass for Moore. Moore against Scaramuzino, brings him down, flips it ahead, intercepted by Paul Gate. Good stick check. They take it away. Tortorella now. Rutgers leading at 2-1, 6 minutes into the game. 7 minutes in now.
Rinaldi broke his stick on that. So he'll go out. And they'll get Locker in.
Steve Locker comes on to replace him. Rutgers 2, Syracuse 1.
They're going to take their time, work the ball around, set up some one-on-ones, and let's see if we can't slow this game down a little bit.
Deliberate on offense. Moore beats his man after losing the ball, feeding in close. Here's the shot, save. Ricocheting to the near sideline, and Paul Gate with a nifty move as he screened off the defense and watched it roll through his legs and out.
I don't think Fusilli knew either where the line was or whether Gary Gate or Paul Gate could make, but watch Gate, 19. Watch, he falls over just after the ball crosses the line. The yellow line, watch it go right between his legs. Bang, he's closest. What a great athlete.
Here's his brother Gary getting a step on the defense. He doesn't have an angle for the shot. Pretty good job of getting back there by Rogers. Now, Gary Gate will work from behind where he seldom wanders, and when he does, you may expect air gate or a power move. Here it comes. He goes low, and they triple team him, knock him into the crease, and pile up.
Number 28, a little late there, Steve. Steve Berkeley.
And now a late flag is thrown.
Absolutely.
And another late flag.
Absolutely. I don't know what the...
These may be non-releasable. Steve Berkeley draws the flag.
That was a good call. Watch how late it is. There's the move. He attracts a lot of attention. There it is. Unnecessary and high.
Now,
and then
neither flag has been thrown. Now
right.
The head driven into Gary Gate by Berkeley. And then piling on for good measure is number 27 there, Rogers.
Well, it gives you an idea of what their defensive strategy is. Let's see if we can intimidate some people, use a zone on occasion, and frustrate them. And it's 2-1. 7:43 left in the first quarter.
Gary Gate was called for entering the crease. Then Berkeley gets 1 minute unnecessary roughness.
Syracuse gets to 30 seconds.
That's a simultaneous, so nobody can be released for at least 30 seconds.
Marachek has it from behind. Syracuse with the 5 attackers against Rutgers 5, but soon they'll have the advantage, right?
Yes, at 30 seconds, no matter what happens.
Rodney dumps in, shooting it wide. Marachek is closest to it at the point of departure.
On a simultaneous, when you have 2 fouls of differing lengths of time, you have to stay at least for the amount of the least penalty. So
Syracuse takes a timeout, Dale, with 6:40 to go here in the first quarter. They trail Rutgers 2-1.
Strategy so far for Rutgers seems to be an intimidating defense, switching occasionally from a zone to a man-to-man, get Syracuse frustrated. On the other hand, they've been penalized a couple of times. I think they're going to try to, as I said, intimidate. And now John Desko and Roy Simmons Jr. talking to the attack in the middies right there to, I'm sure, tell them, don't lose your composure and let's take our time. There's some stats on the common foes. Towson State not surprising, I guess, to most people that they're playing very well this year. Gave Syracuse, as you can see, a close game, 10-9, and then beat Rutgers by only 3. And now Rutgers goals and shots, that's an awful lot of shots and obviously a lot of goals. But you have to remember, as you look at the schedule, Dave, there's a Whittier College on there and some others that are really not top quality, but
you mean to say Sonoma is not in your top 10?
Only if you're going to drink some wine. It's a great wine country, but I don't know about Lacrosse. Of course, you know that the fans probably have great wine on the sideline. Yeah, they played Sonoma. Where else did they play? Whittier, California.
Richard Nixon's alma mater, right?
That's right. San Diego State. Gee, that'd be nice to play for Rutgers. You get to travel.
Right here, Rutgers leading 2-1. They're a fired-up bunch. Don't forget that timeout taken by Tom Hayes just a minute and a half into the game to dispute an official's call, and we've had a couple of interesting calls here in the early going.
Let's see, we still got 2 bodies in the penalty box, so it'll be
1 for each team. Gary Gate will be coming on shortly.
And they'll be man up.
Meanwhile, here's Paul Gate, faking right, coming back left, and shooting it wide. Now Gary is walking on the field, so Syracuse now will be up a man.
Yep, we've got 30 seconds of man up.
Gate signaling Zilberti that he's in and on and ready. Paul up top, now to Gary. Coming out to meet him, Zilberti, quick stick, back in the slot. Burns ties the game. Greg Burns gets the goal, and we're all even now at 2 apiece. Number 13 on the year for yet another Jamesville DeWitt product. So we've got Palin, we've got Beeler for Rutgers, and Greg Burns.
Burns coming on stronger as the season goes on, and just, I think, playing top lacrosse for himself. And, you know, I think that was the first bounce shot I think they've really taken that was on goal. And they did the same thing against Cornell, Dave. Lots of waist-high shots, but right there they took a bouncer, and that ties it up at 2.
And here we got Fusilli and Pratt. This time it's Fusilli who gets it back to Rinaldi. Rinaldi sends back to Fusilli. Here come the Scarlet Knights. They deal it off to Scott Moore. Moore walking it at the top of the box. He cranks. Fires wide. Tortorella is there to keep it in Rutgers' possession.
Trying to get a shot off before Syracuse could get big sticks on. Schluteron and Persing, actually the 34, the shorter of the big sticks.
Here comes Tortorella. As you look at it from behind, you'll watch the play form.
Nice look.
Stouffer is on Tortorella. Nice feed, and there's the go-ahead goal as they found Andy DeSico all alone, and again some kind of lapse because he was all alone and you saw the view from behind.
It was a great shot. It was a great picture, and DeSico you're going to get a look at here as they go back behind. That's Tortorella, and just no stick on him, and he lost McCabe somewhere. Let's see where he breaks from. There's DeSico, 20. Watch him break. All right, now. There was a switch. Yeah, I think McNamara got picked off right there, or McCabe got picked off.
It was a basketball pick. From the blind side, it was McNamara getting picked off, and then his man just stepped backwards. 3-2, Rutgers leading. Beautiful play right there.
Shows you how important faceoffs are.
Dave Cunningham is on now, another local product out of West Genesee. He is only a freshman, wearing number 9. 3-2 Rutgers. We're down to 5.5 to go in the first quarter. With the ball now is Steve Locker. Locker starts his move from way out. Nice change of direction. He's got the shot, and he's got the goal. Rutgers 4 and Syracuse 2. Obviously, the offensive talents and the numbers that Rutgers has compiled this year are for real.
Well, they certainly have been playing well, and they're even up in the face-off department. Nice move, and he just beat him. There's no other way to describe it, as Steve Locker comes out, and it's 26 on him.
That's Kirk Pratt.
Just going to say, Kirk Pratt stayed in on the face-off, and there's the shot, and Matt never even saw it until it went by him.
Steve Locker.
In close, Rutgers getting a lot of quality shots. They're not being challenged. The defense, well, the defensive, the middies playing on defense are not coming up to force that shot or challenge it in any way. Off the face, here's Paul Gate. He may look to retaliate. Gary does instead. The behind-the-back pass to the trailer. Gary Gate. We've got a 4-3 game now. Rutgers up by 1.
And 4-3 in the face-off department. It was even, as Schmunk says, I should have had it. But boy, I can tell you, it makes all the difference in the world as the ball was just down in the middle. As Fusilli, stronger, trying to muscle Pratt off the ball, lost it, and they got the ball down. Here's the behind the back from Paul to Gary, and that opened up a lane, and there it was.
That was just a great replay. You saw the two Gates going stride for stride off the opening face as they came in from the wings, as they're doing right now. There's Paul in there doing the dirty work.
As Pratt doing a lot of the dirty work. They're all over Gary.
And Paul comes away with it. Spins out of there, and it's onto the stick of Gary Gate. Paul was looking for the return favor.
Shows you how much the wings count on that face-off.
They go across the top of the defense, maybe across the zone. Maricek to Zoberti. Syracuse looking to equal it up now. They're down 4-3. In the slot is Burns. He wanted it. They go to him, and he ties it up. You could see Burns all alone in the slot waiting for the ball.
See, that's what I like about Syracuse. Now you say, let's shut these Gates down, and they got a guy like Burns. They got all sorts of people. Egan, who gets some time. They're just very, very well skilled in all phases. There's Gary. And there he passes behind Zoberti, and Zoberti will get an assist, and that's just classic lacrosse. Zoberti with his third assist, and Burns with his second goal.
Greg Burns with a 2-goal game, and this game is again tied now at 4 apiece.
Let's check this face-off. I'm trying to see what they're doing here. There's a clamp by Fusilli. Then he tried to rake it out.
Good kick. Good kick by Pratt. He kicked it, and Paul Gate is there to come in from the wing. Gary has a step on his man. Paul goes by Moore. He shoots it. It is now a 5-4 game. Syracuse on top.
You talk about momentum. That goes right back to how quickly it can shift, especially if you get the ball back. And now they're getting to Schmunk, and he's got to be thinking a little bit. Here's a ground level look.
Goal by number 19,
No assist for Gate on his second. But watch him. He just goes by Moore and then just ripples the net.
Dale, 56 seconds ago, this was a 4-2 game.
Yeah, right.
So Syracuse has scored 3 goals now in less than a minute. And they're up 5-4. Wow, how the complexion has changed.
And you're going to see Fusilli and Pratt are going to be working. Fusilli got that one fair and square.
Yeah, but then Fusilli was dumped.
Yep. Fusilli going to talk to Gary Gate.
The one thing about the Gates is they don't get riled.
No, they and neither does Maricek, and he's kind of a slighter built kid than those guys. He takes a lot of lumps on the head. They illuminized him last week a couple times, or I should say against Cornell. But here's Pratt on the ground, and that's just muscle on Fusilli, and there was the push by Gary.
Gary climbed up his back from behind.
Well, they're not going to let themselves get intimidated. Now here's a chance for Rutgers to stop the Syracuse momentum.
Rutgers going clockwise here against Syracuse's man-down defense. Scott Moore has got a goal, has it. Now they feed in front. That pass is deflected. Beeler in pursuit. Who's going to have possession?
Yeah, Phil Schluter got his stick up on it. Number 4. He and Scaramuzzino and Persingman playing very well for that defensive mini group.
Andy DeSico back behind. Nobody played him from behind. Out to the wing. Tortorella up top to Moore. He goes to the backhand, and he loses it. McCabe knocked it away, of course. And now they come out of there, and it is Syracuse with the ball. Stouffer has it. Feeding Maricek. Stops on a dime. He feeds weak side, and Zoberti's shot is stopped by Schmunk. On the outlet, it's deflected and loose. Beeler there. Beeler dribbling it near side. Gate picks it up, or thought he did. Big hit as they converge on Moore. Syracuse's Burns looking to give it up. Maricek went before he had it. Foot race to the sideline. Maricek through his legs. Nice job.
Look at that behind the back.
Gate. Flag is down. Gary stops, fires. It's high. And Syracuse will keep it. Now we'll get the assessment of the infraction.
That's going to be a slash.
Let's go back to that shot by Zilberti.
Yeah, he might have been better to put it down there. And here's the behind-the-back pass by Maricek. And then Gary Gate steaming downfield. The flag was already thrown, and then he gets a
slashing penalty called on
shot down.
That was a half behind-the-back bounce pass.
Tim Fritz, 1 minute slashing.
Slashes on Tim Pritz. 1 minute. Syracuse man up, leading by 1 goal, 5-4. Here is the pass to Gary Gate. Oh,
off a helmet.
Was that Burns' shot? And it rolls across midfield. Rutgers may have an attempt here if they can get possession cleanly. They can't. Dumpson with a spin. Dumpson on the move. Gary Gate open on the near wing. Maricek, quick stick, goal! Burns has his 3rd goal in the first half. First quarter.
Burns is just playing super. He's in the right place. They're taking other people away on the midfield, and they're just hitting him right. Watch Dumpson. Beautiful pass.
He takes a 2-goal lead.
Get the ball down. There's the behind the back to Z. And Z should get an assist. That's his 4th on that. Absolutely.
And that is a career-tying 3rd goal of the game for Greg Burns. He had 3 in 1988 against Massachusetts, Cornell. And earlier this year, in fact, earlier this week against Cornell, he had 3 goals. And here's Fred Amaya coming up with the face-off. Syracuse leading at 6-4. Burns playing a much more active role of late.
Well, you've got Maricek, of course, and Zilberti, and they're trying to get on those guys, and Burns is working himself free.
Joe Bonacci's on as well. Here's Zilberti from behind. Eckert's on him. Good pick set there by Maricek. A loop feed up to Amaya. Amaya on the return to Earl Hall from Brewerton, New York. Now Zilberti from outside as Maricek is behind. Little inversion there. Bonacci was thinking about shooting before he had control. And the defense trying to clear it. Zilberti in pursuit. Zilberti whacks at it. Here's Cunningham. That's drawn a flag.
Zilberti was offside.
Luciano now. Rutgers in a bonus situation. They'll have possession no matter what.
Another flag.
DeSico is a slash, the feed in front, and now the shot with the stoppage of play. 2 flags thrown against Syracuse.
Offsides and a slash, I believe. So Syracuse will be 2 men down. Yep, it's a slash and an offside. Zilberti was off by 6-7 steps. So McNamara's out. See if we can pick up the slash. This is one of those sound slashes where it really echoes, and you also saw it bounce off his head.
McNamara goes to the penalty box. Minute 13 to play in the first quarter.
1 minute slashing, 30 seconds offside. Both called against Syracuse.
Rutgers now definitely needs a goal. They're down 2, and on the scoreboard they're up 2 men on the field. They've got Rinaldi set up in the slot. It's almost like a box defense around Rinaldi. Tortorella from behind. Beeler out front. Now Moore. Seem to be wasting a little bit of time.
Well, you got 2 men down. They don't want to blow this though. They want to get the goal and not worry about how much time it takes.
Now they bring a 2nd man in scoring position. They're going to try to find him. They just did. He doesn't have an angle across the goal mouth. Behind, up top, shot, score. They did it beautifully, and Greg Rinaldi scores the 5th Rutgers goal. Goal number 26 on the year for Greg Rinaldi. So it looked like they were being overcautious, but they did get the goal. And with 30 seconds to go in the first quarter, it's a 6-5 game. Syracuse up 1.
Well, you talk about confidence. You definitely don't want to say we were 2 men up and couldn't get a goal on these guys. And you see the passing and the looking, and of course, there's the shot by Greg Rinaldi, the junior out of Fayetteville. And that is the 5th goal for Rutgers.
Some terrific shot making, great offense here in the first quarter. Fusilli is legitimate, I'll tell you, as a faceoff man. He's not going to have 84% today, but he may get close to 50. Rutgers with that much time remaining in the quarter trying to beat the clock and even the score. It is Moore looping it and intercepted by Palem with 8 seconds to go. Now Syracuse trying to beat the clock. They can't get the shot away in time. In the first quarter, a great one has come to an end with Syracuse leading Rutgers 6-5. Ball's going to come off his stick at Rodney Dumpson.
It sunk too far back in on Rodney Dumpson.
And Syracuse back up by 2.
You'll see what happens.
Dumpson scores.
Just going to say, watch Rinaldi, I think, is the closest man as they get the feed to Marichek. Actually, a pass to Marichek, and watch Dumpson. See how far. Watch. Nobody's picked him up. 2, 3, 4. Oh, Rinaldi turns around, but it's too late as he puts a blister by Schmunk.
Rodney Dumpson. Goal by number 6, Rodney Dumpson.
And you know, like anything else, you can burn out your face-off man. So they've got Mike Yarusso out there for Rutgers. And I think there's going to be a delay of game against Rutgers, so that will give Syracuse the ball.
Fusilli was back out there to take the face. No, you're right, Dale. It was number 37 out there this time. Yarusso, the freshman.
And he didn't get out there fast enough, apparently, because the beeper went off. The referees wear a beeper, and you've got to get the ball in play. And now that was a loss of possession that they didn't need.
And a costly one. It could turn out to be. Syracuse is up by 2. Rutgers has stayed within 2 throughout this game. In fact, they led by 2 at one point. Very short-lived lead. Here is Paul Gate dishing it back to Dumpson. Better check your stick. That one looked like it went right through it, and that's exactly what Schmunk did.
He got 2 in about 15 seconds as Dumpson once again just steps in and took a high one.
Goal by number 6,
There's the pass.
Number 19,
just too much on it. That's why that controlling that rebound, when they hit that stick so hard, nice move to get the ball to Dumpson, and Dumpson just, it did hit the stick. It's too much on it.
It didn't go through it. It just turned the stick around.
That's why I say you got a lot of speed on it. You got a lot of power behind the shot, and it just moved the stick. Fusilli back out there. Pratt got it. Wrap check.
And down goes Pratt. Pratt doing a little taunting of Fusilli on that one. You saw them face to face before the game. Syracuse leading 8-5. Let's go back to that shot by Dumpson. That hit the stick, turned the stick around, yet the direction of the ball did not vary.
That's right. It just amazing. I'll tell you what else they've called here.
30 seconds.
They have called a possession on that, so that will cost a man to Rutgers, and Syracuse will be man up.
Rutgers timeout.
And with that, Tom Hayes quickly signals a timeout. He wants to carry on another discussion with the official. Timeout, 14:08 to play, and Syracuse leads by 3. Let's look at that shot by Rodney Dumpson again and see how Schmunk's stick was moved.
There he sees it now. He moves the stick. Now, he was kind of moving it himself to get the angle, and he maybe reacted a little bit too soon. They really cleared through, got Dumpson open, and they got a shot off by Burns, who's hot.
Yeah, had that one gone in, it would have been a new career high for Greg Burns. He's already got 3 goals. We're in the opening 2 minutes of the second quarter. Seems like we've played quite a bit longer. Syracuse leading at 8-5. The goals have come in flurries.
Syracuse man up right now for at least a couple more seconds.
Zilberti across the top to Polgate, and here's the string dance. Off the stick to Polgate, it's 9-5.
You know, they must have had a scouting report on Schmunk maybe to go high because most of the shots have been high. He stopped a couple high, but of course he was man down, and there's the pass over the top of the cage. And boy, really would make a lot of difference when you can crank from that far out.
Polgate with a very productive first half, 2-2 already, and Syracuse now leading at 9-5.
Zilberti picking up assists. He gets his 5th.
Syracuse has outscored Rutgers now 7-1 since the Scarlet Knights had a lead of 4-2, and they've got the ball back. This is like a wave, as Pratt.
Well, I just want to say they had Scaramuzino in with the big stick on the other side of the wing. He's going to come out now. A little strategy by coach.
Here's Cahey, gets the step, shoots, and the bouncer goes beyond the reach of Maricek.
Pretty good shot selection there, Dave, because they've been burning him with the high burners and take a little slow bouncer, and sometimes they'll overreact.
Cunningham departs. Steve Berkeley comes on.
Jimmy Egan's going to pick the ball up.
Rutgers started out this game playing very good defense. Syracuse missed their first 5 shots. They haven't missed much since then. Fred Amaya from Hicksville, Long Island, makes the move and the change of direction nicely against Rogers. Giving it up to Jim Egan. A feed intended for Bonacci. He rakes it back on his stick, nearly buried by Rogers. Bonacci doing some great hustling in there, right to the goal mouth.
Listen to that aluminum, huh?
Oh, a couple of crunches, no flags. Amaya. And after the shot, Amaya a little pushing and shoving with Tim Pritz.
I'll tell you what, Amaya's really getting into the flow of this game. He's only a freshman, and I think it's taken him a little while, but he really seems to be getting more comfortable every game.
Amaya has it now. Here's his move against Moreau. Now here's Cahey coming in. It hit the pipe, perhaps.
Another slash.
Flag thrown on the far side of the field. The game is definitely going Syracuse's way now.
Well, I think they're really getting those sticks on him, and this will be Syracuse's 4th man-up attempt. 5th now. We check it, 5th. So they really started to bring the sticks up a little high, and you're going to get a call. There's no doubt about it. When you get that stick up by the head, you might get away with a hold on occasion, but we'll see if it's right here, right there.
This is Jim Eckert's 2nd penalty of the game. I don't think we've ever seen it in any of our telecasts, but you can foul out of a lacrosse game. 5
personal fouls will put you out.
There's Zilberti, makes the fake and the shot and the score. John Zilberti makes it a 10-5 game.
I know you weren't here for the Cornell game, but he'd played golf before that game. He didn't seem to bother many. He's just tremendous. That's his goal and 5 assists. Watch him move from behind. They pass the ball around. Now his defenseman is going to come around when he sees the ball go behind. Now he plays Zilberti hard, but he did not square up. He was still sprinting. That was Moreau, and then when he got the jump on Moreau, it was all over. Another face-off
and
now.
Syracuse gets it back off the face. Burns gets it to Maricek. And just seconds after the face-off, Syracuse scores again. It is now 11-5. Maricek gets the goal, his 2nd of the contest, number 29 on the year. 2nd in that category to Gary Gate.
There's Zilberti.
If he's hurting, it's hard to see where. He did fall heavily after that goal. He was dumped.
He always does. He takes a lot of aluminum on there. Surprised he hasn't developed an allergy for it. Ball out. Pratt just scooched it out.
Gary Gate has it, and he finds Paul. Coming down the slot, Gary picking up the loose ball. Gary shooting and scoring again. Paul Gate with the goal.
see what happens there is you really have to, you feel sorry for Schmuck because they've been taking shots from all over the place, high, low, then getting in tight like Z did. Now, Gate beat him out around the 10 yards or so from the goal mouth, and then just sprints. You see, there's nobody there. You got to get up on his stick, but you can't. Look at all the goal they give him there, Dave, on the right of the goalie. Great shot from behind, and you see that Gate is just taking a shot on a virtually open goal. 3 goals, 2 assists for Paul Gate. And Syracuse just is dominating this game now in every phase. A save by Schmuck. Rebound, though, goes to Burns. He tried to underhand it to Paul Gate. It eventually went to Gate anyway. And here's a shot and score. 4 goals and 2 assists now for Paul Gate. It is 13-5. Remember, Rutgers has already called 2 timeouts. Face-off now goes. Just going to say, for Rutgers now goes 13-5, and they have not taken a shot this quarter, mainly because of face-offs. Syracuse has taken 6 face-offs this quarter, and the result is when you get face-offs, you get fast breaks, unsettled situations, and here they are. They slide out, but it's really hard with those guys as Pritz tried to stop him. 12 shots in this quarter by Syracuse.
And here's Syracuse winning the face again, losing control of it on the sideline. Cahey tried to play it. Rutgers looks to get it. Roy Simmons is to jump out of the way, and it goes to Phil Schluter, the big stick. He drills it to Cahey. He's got an open man up ahead on the right wing. He's waiting for Earl Hall to come on. Terrific takedown by Rutgers. Stick is down, the ball in the air. Moreau has it, and back to Schmuck on the redirect. Here comes Rutgers trying to get some kind of offense going. Hotailing in for the steal. Marichek in front, fake, score. (14-5). Syracuse outscoring Rutgers 12-1. Rutgers is leading 4-2 in this game.
Well, now they stopped the clear attempt, and he just, he really didn't even fake, Dave. He just cradled a couple of times, and Schmuck's got to be, he's had 30 shots taken on him in less than a half. Actually, a quarter and 3 minutes and 52 seconds.
I'm going to make a prediction. I predict Syracuse will have a letdown in the third quarter in this game. They just cannot sustain the pace they're at now.
Well, it's tough, too, when you're ahead by so many goals.
Here's a play-on situation. A big stick coming in. Marichek, a couple of fakes, and another goal. And Greg Rinaldi, very excited, being pushed off from any extracurricular activity by Mark Moreau. Rinaldi, native of this area, doesn't like what's happening. Brooke Chase was involved in there, too. They former high school teammates?
Well, Chase is from Fayetteville Manlius. We'll see, there's the shot. Maybe we can see what it's all about.
So is Rinaldi,
Yeah,
right?
Rinaldi, yes. I'm just trying to think of the same year. I guess they were. There's the shot.
Goal by Tom Marichek.
There's the late hit.
To his sport.
Then there's the I'm going to pay you back for that.
Steve Scaramazino.
And then there's
Scaramazino, 23 in the assist. Tom Marichek gets his 4th goal.
Moreau is in there. He doesn't want to lose Rinaldi, who's probably their best scorer.
Well, Moreau is 6'4", 225, so I guess he can police it pretty well. Fusilli working on out there, ball out. That's going to be for Rutgers.
And it is Rinaldi with it. Has Rutgers had a shot in this quarter?
No.
We're less than 5 minutes into this quarter. Rutgers DeSico back to Moore. Across the box, here's Fusilli looking for a shot. He can't find an angle. Tortorella losing it. Stouffer on him. Tortorella bumped. Tortorella against Stouffer. Tries to spin away. Nice block by Palin. And Tortorella may have been in the crease. Flag is down in any event.
When he loses the ball, that stops the flag. So that'll be a slash on Stouffer.
Syracuse sends Bob Smith on defense.
Here's the inside move. McNamara guarding 2 people, then he slides. Matt Palin got it with the body. Nice save. Save number 2 for Matt.
Penalty
One in the first
on
quarter,
Syracuse,
one in
number
the
32,
second.
Mark Stover.
Rinaldi to Beeler.
1 minute slashing penalty called against Syracuse.
Luciano is on as well. This is Rinaldi and now Beeler. And Luciano. They tried to get it in close for Rinaldi. Regained by Beeler. Up top Moore. On the right hand he goes to Beeler. Now back to DeSico. He'll try it, and Palin sticks it beyond the end line.
Schluter there playing defense, and DeSico, you're right, good shot. Palin in position.
Syracuse is on a 13-1 run. Rutgers may not get another shot away in this man-up situation. Scaramuzzino is good with that ball. Tried to get it up ahead, and we get a flag that's possibly going to go against Rutgers and Tortorella.
We've had a lot of penalties in this game so far, in this quarter and a third. Illegal check, a little bit too high.
This game turned around late in the first quarter with Rutgers leading by 4-2, 3 goals in the span of 56 seconds. And it hasn't been the same game since.
Well, that takes the momentum away from you. Let's see if we can pick up the... Yeah, it was a cross check to the head. So DeSico will take a seat, and Syracuse will have their 7th man-up opportunity. And that shows you the penalties that have been called.
That time Schmuck got a stick on the blast from Paulgate. Paul has 4 goals and 2 assists. Maricek has what, 4 goals or 3? There's one more for Zilberti. 16-5 now. Second goal of the game for John.
He goes to 5 assists. You're right. 2 goals, 5 assists. Nice pass. And just camping right there with the Coleman gear is John Zilberti on the man up. That was the 7th man-up opportunity. They've scored on 3.
Goal by John Zilberti, number 11. Assist to number 19, Paul Gay. The goal by John Zilberti.
Zilberti apparently not hurt.
Assist to Paul Gay, and it's now Syracuse.
And here's Gary Gate going down and losing possession, but Maricek is there. Oh, what a fake by Maricek. Crank, 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 and go behind the back.
Goal number 5. I saw this in the Cornell game. It just, you see, watch how much the net ripples with this behind the back. After the Gates knocked themselves out of the play, Maricek down. Watch the net. Fake, fake, fake. Now they're going to play the stick. Okay. Watch that net. That's with a behind the back shot.
He didn't exactly tickle the twine. He put a dent in it.
Only a freshman. Just getting used to the game, he told me, the American game, the field game.
Yes, call me up when he's really used to it. Let me see.
You know, people might wonder why they have a Canadian flag up here in the dome.
Tommy Kane told me it was for him. Leo Rattles told me it was for him. Maybe one pass too many. Brooke Chase runs it down, loops it behind. Egan with it now. Maricek. Gary Gate. Paul Gate. Bouncer behind the back. Is it in? Yes! He picked up the loose ball and went behind and dumped it by Schmuck. I guess they don't count unless you go behind your back.
Well, you know, that's just the Canadian way of doing things when it's so unpredictable. It's just, he's got 6 goals and he just, right in the right position, just spun around.
And it looks like a dance step the way he does it.
Whew. They're going to give him a rest.
They may outlaw him.
You know, this game is entertainment. Like all sports, it's entertainment. And boy, you don't get much more entertaining than Syracuse University lacrosse.
By Tom Marichuk, his 6th goal. Syracuse now leads 18-5.
And McNamara picks it up. This is the most awesome run I've ever seen from a Syracuse lacrosse team, and they're playing against a very competent Rutgers team.
Except now they're offsides.
Again, if you've just tuned in, Rutgers was leading 4-2.
Let me give you an idea of how you can control this game. Syracuse has 19 faceoffs to 6 for Rutgers, and we still have 8 minutes left to go in the second quarter.
Syracuse on a 16-1 run.
And then you get the ball back, and then you do it again. You see, if Rutgers could have, been down by 2 and done some good things, but they just have not had the ball.
I believe when Rutgers is leading in this game at 4-2, the face-off advantage was only 5-3 at that point.
Right. It's now just taken off from there. Syracuse wingmen just really come in and dominate and get that ball. Now Rutgers take their time when they clear here. They don't want to. Those long passes. There's the.
In the middle, it's Locker with it now. Scaramuzino stride for stride with him. Rutgers gets it back to Cunningham. On the give now to DeSico. Played loosely by McNamara. Got a shot across the face, no flag.
Look at the movement on the crease. A lot of cutters.
DeSico goes down, pops up. McNamara took it away. Cunningham battles in there. McCabe is there, and it's McNamara who loses it.
Off his stick. You didn't see it. It's not out. There it is.
Now it is out. Rutgers ball. We still have a lot of time to play in this first half.
Against Cornell, Syracuse had a 12-goal lead, 16-4, and it got to 16-10 before it ended up 20-12.
Syracuse playing man-to-man defensively, and there's a beautiful steal. Steve Scaramuzino.
He's got 4 goals on it here.
And he passes the ball especially well, finding Brooke Chase, who goes high. Too high against the goalie, John Schmuck. Bonacci, Cahey, and Hall come on. Amaya alternates on that second midfield.
.6:25 left.
Can you recall a game in which Syracuse had 20 goals in the first half?
No. I can't recall when any team has had 20 goals. I think I did a freshman game once in high school.
Mark Holtailing now is on, number 13. Bonacci with Cahey. One-on-one move started and backed off by Bonacci.
Also out of Fayetteville Manlius.
Guarded by Berkeley. What a move as he spins free for the shot, and it just missed rolling in. Joe Bonacci has great breaks. Boy, he's stopped on a dime. Syracuse offside? No. Big hit at midfield and an injured Orangeman. Play continues. We've got an injured Syracuse player right at midfield. Could be Earl Hall.
I think it is, number 7, Earl Hall.
He was really sandwiched. Does not appear to be his legs.
Probably his wind. I think he left it somewhere at the top of the U here. Let's see. Or at the bottom of the U. Right there. High on the head. And down he goes.
Rutgers penalty is number 18, Penn Doherty. 1 minute for an illegal check.
Pat Doherty picks up the 1 minute penalty on the illegal check. Earl Hall up and obviously okay.
Those are the numbers you talk about. You got a guy like Earl Hall who's a senior and Jim Egan who's a junior, and they can just run so many fine athletes at you that it really becomes a case of Coach.
Roy Simmons is amused.
He's always amused. He never seems to get, upset or lose his cool. He's always...
Maybe he's amused because he can send on the big hitters now.
Right.
Like that. Paul Gate makes it 19-5. He was almost apologetic after that goal.
Well, it's... It becomes statistical. That's his 5th goal, I believe. 5 goals. And you'll see the 5th right here from the ground level.
5 goals to go along with his 2 assists, and it is 19-5.
His 5th is by number 19,
There it is, just
Paul Gate.
It's not, you see, he's maybe 8 yards out. It's really not all the goalie's fault. I mean, they have now taken 40 shots. They've taken a game's worth of shots at Schmunk with 5:29 left to go in the first half.
And Fusilli winning the face, putting a good pass ahead to Rinaldi. He just misplayed it and lost it. Good play coming out is Jim Nislonsky. He had a couple of brothers who were great lacrosse players a few years back. And a missed opportunity from Matt Walsh, who was one-on-one with Matt Palin. This may be the first shot of the second quarter.
I believe it is. There it is down low.
McCabe came over to help.
Yep. McCabe, they've also got Bill Winship in now. They got a whole bunch of new defensemen in. McNamara's coming out now.
John Winship. Bill Winship.
Yeah. Too easy. Bill Winship, 39. Bill Tully also, 45 in. Checked by McNamara. No, that's McCabe, of course.
And Schluter with a big stick. Schluter likes to leg it upfield, and here he comes. Pass is intercepted. Moore tried to save it right in front of our monitor at midfield.
Scott Moore out of West Islip. Nice attempt, but he couldn't control the ball. Question is, Dave, what do you say at halftime if you're that man?
Tom Hayes. Here's Amaya making his move for perhaps the 24th Syracuse shot of the quarter. He has. Bonacci is going to get it now. 4.5 minutes to play. Syracuse could crack the 20 mark in the first half. Joe Bonacci, transfer from Navy. Amaya, number 8, on with him. Bouncing ball in close. Pulled down by Schmunk. Egan pursuing from behind. Cahey also helping out. Syracuse applying a pressure now on the ride. Tim Pritz, 32. Syracuse is still going after them. Leading at 19-5 and not conceding anything.
Well, the papers were full of that letdown that you talked about. Although this is not the quarter four, this is the third quarter they were talking about.
Pass is overthrown. Syracuse takes it back.
Dan Lannon in. He handled it. He still got it.
Knocked away by Moore. Used a glove hand on the top of the head.
Yep.
And it did not go undetected.
Steve Miller made the call as they brought him down. Scott Moore out of West Islip. You'll see now that's Lannon with the ball out of Fayetteville Manlius.
There's the hand on the head.
Yep. A lot of Fayetteville Manlius players, Dave, both teams.
Lacrosse, up until a few years ago, was dominated by the west side of Syracuse, mainly West Tennessee, but in recent years, Janesville, DeWitt, Fayetteville Manlius, and now even Nottingham High School playing very well. In fact, Janesville DeWitt just beating Nottingham 10-9 day before this game.
Well, Central New York obviously is a place where you can recruit a lot of good lacrosse players.
And where you can't play baseball in the spring.
Where it's real easy to recruit them when you're in high school because you say, we don't cancel games in lacrosse because the field's muddy.
Chris Wagner, number 1, seeing his first action. Fusilli dealing it back to Rinaldi, that local product. Schluter's on him. 3 minutes to play in the first half. 19-5. Syracuse on a 17-1 run. And Palin has it. Up ahead.
Persing.
In the middle, intended for Lannon. Beaten to it by Rinaldi.
That shows you what kind of shape you have to be in. Rinaldi about his 4th trip in a row on top speed up and down the field.
Here is Moore, and he bounces it wide of the net. But Rutgers will retain possession.
Now let's talk about conditioning a little bit. These guys have been going up and down this field, and they have just been working. And I'll tell you, that was a great example of it right there, as Rinaldi had sprinted about 70 yards. They lost the ball, got it back again. He sprinted back down the field on offense. And that shows you why you have to run a couple of midfields, sometimes 3, if you can get them to give everybody a break and catch the wind.
Dennis Simmons, no relation to Roy, comes on. He's out of Madison, Connecticut, a junior. He replaced Phil Schluter. He wears number 40. No Winchip, 39 is on. Persing as well, also in the game now, 31, Todd Stratton. A lot of aluminum on aluminum, and no shot by Rutgers. Here's Persing down the sideline. Persing into the gallop mode. Persing bumped from behind by Moore.
See if that's a push.
Yes, it is.
Against Syracuse.
Jason Picorni is in the game now, number 16.
So Syracuse will have the ball. Picorni, you're right.
Paul Cannon, number 20, is on. Wholesale subs here as we hit the 2-minute mark. Will Syracuse hit the 20 mark? Jim Egan behind to Mark Hoteling, 2 veterans. Hoteling out to Picorni. Looked like he took a shot in the face. He comes in for the shot. Got the pipe. Ricochets out of bounds. Syracuse has it.
Quite a shot while he was moving. That's impressive.
This is Jason Picorni, P-O-K-O-R-N-Y. Sophomore from Scarsdale, Rye Country Day School. Shakes the cobwebs out.
Yeah, here's a nice end zone look at what's going on.
It's Brooke Chase going one-on-one. Andy Boland's in the game. He had the ball. Now Picorni behind the chase. Brooke changing directions a few times. Still
Hanging
with
a
it.
stick for a little bit. Almost got it taken.
Overshot his man. And it's out of bounds. Rutgers will get it. Lannon, Scaramuzino come on along with Mike McGee, number 43.
That's where you get to a lot of playing time for your younger players, and we'll see. That's Brooke Chase behind.
Bill Tully is in the game in front of the cage. He is 6'4" and 240 pounds. That's what he's listed as. Cunningham giving it up. Steve Locker on. Now M.G. Hollingsworth, number 19. M.G. still with it. There's a shot, perhaps. It's looped into the air. Syracuse hustling to it, but it'll stay in possession of the red team.
Good hustle by Locker.
We're down to 45 seconds to play here in the first half. Bob Smith is on defensively, number 35. He's matched up with a Hollingsworth, number 19, right in front of the cage. Naslonsky, 14, trying to get the ball in the slot. Cunningham on the change of direction. He may work one-on-one. Here he comes. And his shot is wide.
Mike McGee, a junior out of Manhasset. He's 6'1", 202. They got some beef out there, Dave.
They play the Syracuse spring football game right before this one, and coming up at halftime, Dale will talk with head coach Dick McPherson and quarterback Billy Sharr, the heir apparent, number 1 starting quarterback. That'll be coming up at halftime. Scaramuzino gamble, and the shot is wide by Locker with 2 seconds to go. So Syracuse will not hit 20. That's the only thing they haven't hit in the first half. 19-5. And time runs out. A flag is thrown as the first half comes to an end, with Syracuse in a commanding lead, 19-5. We'll be right back with our halftime activities after these words.
There are two things you can count on in the spring in Syracuse. One is snow, and the other one is question about Syracuse quarterbacking situation. In 1987, it was, can Don McPherson lead an inexperienced group of people and have a successful season? In 1988, it was who's going to replace Donnie McPherson. Todd Philcox answered that question with a top 20 ranking and a win over LSU. Coach, it's 1989. We got some snow today and a little bit of question about the quarterback. What about the spring situation with your quarterbacks?
I thought that Billy Shaw had the quarterback nod going in because of his experience factor. I think he's held on to it. I think everybody was equal as they started, but as we got more offense into the picture and more thought processes, the experience factor clearly showed, and I think Billy had a great spring.
People might be a little interested. How do you evaluate quarterbacks? Is it a numbers thing? Is it something you can put down on a piece of paper? Is it a gut feeling? How do you go about looking at that quarterback position?
I think every time they scrimmage, we program it, we rate them, we grade them, everything they've done, so we have a pretty good objective as well as a subjective ranking of them. And Bill Maxwell keeps up. They know where it is. They're kept informed, and so from that standpoint, he won that race, and he's also moved the field up and down, the football team up and down the field, so we're in good shape.
All right, that's number one. Who's number two? Who's number three?
It looks like Mark McDonald will be number two, again because of experience. And the guy coming on real fast is Wendell Lowry. And I think Wendell is going to be a real good quarterback. I think we do so much offensively that we require our young people to wait that turn. And Bill, I think, could probably describe that to you better than I can, Dale.
All right, Billy, you had a good spring. How would you evaluate your spring performance?
I think, going into the spring, I was trying to, Coach had said that it was mine to lose, and I think my biggest goal was to try to be consistent and move the team. And, I think I did that in some scrimmages, and, I think another thing was to gain some confidence from the other players, and I think you get through that through moving the ball up and down the field, and hopefully I've done that, and hopefully we can do it next fall.
Speaking of confidence, you're going to have some new faces in the backfield, including your own. How's the chemistry, and how do you think that's going to affect you guys in the fall?
I think some plays today. I mean, I think some of them played really well. I think this spring was good to see how they came together, and I think they came together well. During doubles, I think we'll see even better. But I think they're coming along really well, and just with hard work and determination, I think we'll be fine.
You think the competition pushes you a little harder? The guys behind you?
Oh, definitely. I think Mark and Wendell. Wendell's going to be great, like Coach said, and I think it just keeps you on your toes all the time, and which is the way it should be anyway.
Well, good luck to you. And Coach, any final thoughts before next season starts?
I just think I'm glad that spring is over. Kids are going into final exams. I think we had a great spring from an attitude standpoint. I think we have some talent. Now we're going to have a great summer and be ready for next fall. We'll be here in the Dome on September the 16th versus Army. Play Temple first down there.
For you football fans, you'll have to wait until September 9th to make a trip to Philadelphia. For lacrosse fans, we'll be right back with more action right after this.
Welcome back to the Carrier Dome at the half of a 19-5 lacrosse game. Dave Cohen along with Dale Drypulcher. This was a game, take my word for it, for the first part of the first quarter. In fact, Rutgers had a lead of 4-2, and then Syracuse just overwhelmed. They just swamped Rutgers as they have outscored them now, let's see, 17-1 since that point. And you can take your pick about the heroes, but in the second quarter alone, Tom Marachek personally equaled what Rutgers has done for the entire game as he had 5 goals in that second quarter. Let's look now at some of the Core's halftime highlights, and you'll see the magic of Marachek, assisted by John Zilberti.
Well, John Zilberti, just a pinpoint pass, and that Marachek Express, that shot from behind the back, first goal of the game. But Zilberti's got 2 goals and 6 assists. You saw one of his assists. Here's one of his goals. He just takes lots of aluminum and he just puts it by Schmunk. He's just been playing very, very well, all capacities of the game. He's also been injured a little bit, Dave. I'm sorry.
Paul Gate in this game has 5 goals and 3 assists. And here is Gary. Let's see who he sets up.
Well, it's just
They set up Paul.
Yeah, and there's a rebound here, and then this is Marachek behind the back, and he just has not been missing. He's got a tremendous percentage of shots that go in, too, so he's just playing very, very well.
See, that time he didn't even have to shoot. He just caught the ball, pirouetted, and it went by Schmunk.
Syracuse has got a whole game of shots already, 41-12, and the faceoffs, as you mentioned, were very even, but Syracuse has really jumped on them in that category. Saves, Rutgers is 5. Syracuse only had to make 3 saves, and Matt Palin getting better as the game's gone along. Syracuse ground balls 29-15. A lot of those coming on faceoffs from the wingmen, the Gates and the man-up goals. Syracuse, lots of penalties, 6 and 8. And 6 of 8, I should say, and lots of pushing and shoving going on.
Well, it could be a long second half. Syracuse with 19 goals in the first half. They may be in position for somewhat of a letdown, but who would blame them? We'll be back with the second half face-off in just a minute. The third quarter beginning without a face-off. There was a penalty on the last shot in the last second of the first half. Rutgers gaining possession and promptly throwing it away. Now, if there's any time to get after Syracuse, it's the third quarter. As you see, they're dead even with the opposition. But Paul Gate gets the ball behind his back to John Zilberti, and Syracuse continues the rout of Rutgers. It is now 20-5. The Z scores.
All right, we've been talking about the letdown. I guess you'd have to say the same thing happened against Cornell as they got the first goal of the third quarter, but then they let down, I guess. But they start off getting the ball after Rutgers' poor pass, getting possession on the penalty. They get the ball down to Z, and he just one-on-one with Schmunk. And as I said before, that's very, very difficult for him to stop those shots.
5 goals and 4 assists for Paul Gate, and 3 and 6 for John Zilberti. Now for Zilberti, that equals his career high again of 9 points in the game.
Yeah, he was 2 and 7 against Cornell, so he's had that. This is his third time.
There's Paul Gate and Schmunk with a stop. 20-5 is the score. In case you're wondering, Syracuse's record for goals in the game, 30, set against Colgate. It's 20-5, and we're in the opening minute of the third quarter. Rutgers throwing it away for a moment, getting it back. Syracuse with a new goalie in the game, I believe. It's Lee Hine.
The second half is number 21, Lee Hine.
Hine was almost tested right there.
21, Lee.
Here's Fusilli cranking and down to play. It is Hine. Well, they went low on that play. Syracuse throwing it away. They went low, and Hine, who's built close to the ground, was there for the save.
Lee Hine, a sophomore out of Relay, Maryland, St. Paul's school, is going to fill in for that man. There's Matt Palin. As usual, relaxed on the sideline. And all these guys from Syracuse are relaxed.
Rutgers last beat Syracuse in this sport back in 1955. And in that game, Bob Kelly got 8 goals. Bob Andrews got 8 assists. Both of those are records that still stand for the Scarlet Knights. Tortorella on the move. Stouffer on him. Fusilli set up to the near side. The double on Tortorella for the moment. The feed, and the ball is taken away. Pat McCabe will send cross field. DeSico will take a run at McNamara. And now behind it, Stouffer.
I just had a thought. When they beat Syracuse last night, Eisenhower was president, right?
I guess so.
I think so, yep.
Yeah, you're right. Cahey on the move against Rinaldi. Burns, who had 3 goals early, with it now. Amaya.
I think that Tom Hayes said in the locker room, let's just go out and do some things. Let's do the best we can. Let's get some composure back, and let's learn a little bit about ourselves, and let's see if we can't get some kind of...
Maricek was dumped on the play. If we get a chance, I want to see if we can get a head-to-toe shot at John Zilberti and find out what's wrong with this picture.
See the push as Maricek plays a little soccer, and Rutgers ends up with the ball.
$20-5 is the score. There's John Zilberti. Notice something different?
Yeah. New sneakers. Got more padding. He got a slash on the ankle.
There's Syracuse scooping it up. Maricek with a fake. Maricek jibbled it. Marichek tries to get it back. They try to rake it in, and Schmuck gathers it in. Up ahead he goes for Fusilli. Rob Persing is with him. Now they work from behind. Try to get it up front. They do. Luciano spinning for a possible shot, and there's a score by Rutgers. It's Rinaldi. And so the Scarlet Knights have ended the 18-1 rout and run. And they finally get on the scoreboard after a long, long drought. It's 20-6.
Well, one man was down. I believe it was Scaramuzino fell down, and Rinaldi was able to put it by as Stouffer slid, but not fast enough. And Lee Hine down on the shot, but it went up over his stick.
Gets his sixth goal in the game, scored by number 8, Greg Rinaldi. That's his second goal. Assist to number
Off
13,
the face-off, it is won by Rutgers. This is Anton Shermer in the game now, number 10.
11.5
Andy Smith did the face-off for Syracuse.
20 in Rutgers 6.
Andy DeSico has it now. Rutgers sending on David Cunningham, the West Genesee freshman. Tortorella. Al Locker moving on to Maya. There's a shot that got the pipe. Tortorella is going to watch it roll out of bounds, knowing it's his team's ball. Persing and Scaramuzino are coming on. Egan and Hotaling come on into the Syracuse attack. Zilberti departs, and so does Marichek.
Both teams now just playing a little bit settled. A lot of pushing on the crease still. Lots of aluminum in there.
Lee Hine is the Syracuse goalie. Andy DeSico been held in check, literally. There's a Tortorella with a backhanded stab. McNamara is there. Ground balls it behind. Intercepted by Luciano. Beeler up top and over the head of Cunningham. Regained by Eckert. Now Cunningham carrying it. Going even with a goal to DeSico. Luciano from behind. Back to DeSico. He cranks, he shoots, he scores. Beating Hine high. And it is 20-7.
Well, they had a slide there to get out and get him, and it got a little bit late as DeSico moved on Hine, and Hine was one-on-one. I think McNamara was trying to slide. There's the watch. See that crank? Yep. Now McNamara slides out, but can't get. Tried to get the stick up, and then he went on the short side. So DeSico comes up with his second goal. DeSico out of Bedminster, New Jersey.
20-7. Rutgers in the game's last two goals. Syracuse winning the face. And we get a whistle to stop play as Mike McGee hustling off the face, brought down on the turf.
By DeSico, and it's Syracuse 20, Rutgers 7.
Syracuse will be man up. This will be their 9th opportunity. We'll see the push. And there you go. And Syracuse good on 6 so far on man up, which is excellent.
Ball Gate to Greg Burns on the quick play. Gate overran the rebound. And now it is Moreau coming out. He may send it back. Instead, he sends it across the goal mouth. Zilberti with a diving attempt for it.
He hustles.
Leading by a 20-7 score. You couldn't tell by the degree of hustle.
Well, that's important as you come up to playoffs. Not that you're going to run into a game like this in the playoffs, but you've got to hustle all the time, no matter what the score is.
Sean McGowan in the game now, freshman defender for Syracuse, out of Avon, New York. And there's a shot. And a score as Lee Hine gets beat for the third time here in the third quarter. It's 20-8.
Rinaldi with another goal. That's his third. So the local kid gets a chance to put a show on for some of the local fans who remember him out of Fayetteville Manly's High School. Oh, he got a nice check, too, and he beat Hind on the wide side. Is offside, though.
20-8 with an unassisted goal. Goal by number 8, Greg Rinaldi.
Watch Rinaldi and Paul Gate there on the wings.
9.5 minutes left, third period.
As you watch Pratt and Fusilli, I believe, on the face.
Nice positioning by Pratt, and he kicked the ball out. Let's see who comes up with it. Rutgers may get it. Yes, they do.
Rutgers wins it. Tortorella has it in his stick. He gives it up to Fusilli. Fusilli feeding in front. Rinaldi shot is wide. Rutgers will have it again.
Rinaldi taking some shots here.
Anton Shermer in the game is listed as a goalie, but he's playing, I believe, in the midfield. This is DeSico. To Tortorella. Shot just bounced by Lee Hind. They had Hind beaten.
Yes, he did. Hind went down and the ball bounced high. If you don't stop it playing that hop, it'll go up over your shoulder. Hind maybe a little bit rusty.
Moore against Schluter makes the move. A couple of hesitations. He's lost the ball. He didn't know it. McNamara golfs it ahead. At midfield, a nifty move, and it's into the stick of Brooke Chase. Chase rifles it to Egan, who misplays it. Egan trying to scoop it to Staramazino, and Rutgers is fired up now. Moreau ahead to Rinaldi. Rinaldi coming right from behind. Persing took a swipe at him, and Rinaldi is dumped and hurt. Rinaldi is hurt. He's getting up very slowly.
They'll blow the whistle after this scoring opportunity. If the ball goes down, they'll give him a chance.
Oh, Rinaldi has collapsed as he tried to come upfield. He's down. Earl Hall has it. Now they'll stop the game.
Rinaldi, there was no penalty because he turned. You watch. He just turned himself up over Staramazino, and he's got a pad on that left leg, that left knee, Dave. And I don't know, that appears to be what they're looking at.
He collected his breath, got up, started to run off, and then he went down again.
Rinaldi with 3 goals. Yeah, the right knee. It's always the one you don't bandage.
A little bit unsteady. You can see that leg buckling a little bit.
Nice round of applause you can hear in the background for the local kid as he comes off the field, having had a productive day, 3 goals.
6'2" and 170 pounds. That's what they call wiry.
Quite a football player, too, if I remember correctly, in high school. Receiver. Syracuse get the ball right where they had it when the whistle blew.
Earl Hall with it, sends it down. This is Hotaling.
Watch the pick!
They call out the pick that Egan sets.
He moved.
I'm standing here!
No, Jim, you did move. He's saying, I'm standing like this, but he obviously moved.
Well, you got to work for him. Egan, a junior out of Yorktown, a famous high school for developing lacrosse players. Watch, let's see if Egan's moving. So you got to be set, and they just kind of lean it a little bit there.
They bounced a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes those are easier to see in real speed than in slow motion. Definitely bounced to his left. 20-8, midway through this third quarter.
Uh-oh.
At midfield, look out. Flags fly from both ends of the field. You could see that one coming, right?
Yeah. That was a collision.
Todd Stratton, the freshman, involved in that one.
Did you ever see those destruction derbies in Islip when they all the cars going in different directions? Here you got 1, 2, one from behind, one from front.
That could have been a lot worse. He didn't bear the brunt of Stratton head on.
Yeah, well, they didn't hit him with a stick or put the shoulder in him, but he definitely took a shot. So man-up opportunity number 6-5.
Luciano is in the middle. Now he goes through the crease.
Number 31, Todd Stratton.
Through the slot.
1 minute for an illegal check. 1 minute penalty against Syracuse for an illegal check.
Tortorella, DeSico, Rinaldi, and Moore. Luciano to DeSico. Now Moore. Tortorella, he wants it. Not much steam on it. Luciano with a rebound from behind. Here's Tortorella giving it back and beyond the reach of Moore.
I think he should have taken that shot when he had it. And it looked like he had it. Yep. You know, we've mentioned Coach Simmons as you see the change from Scott Moore coming off, but John Desko, one of the assistant coaches, and Kevin Donahue, who works with the face-off people, and Coach Simmons likes to credit those guys. Face-offs, at this point, Syracuse has 21 to 10 for Rutgers, so that's indicative of the score, I think, also in this
Darren
case.
Gate is on now. Mike Rogers with him. Gate using Paul from behind, feeding in front, intended for Chase. And a shot on the head will stop play.
Chase, another one of those Fayetteville Manlius kids. Went to Hobart at one point. He's back here now. Let's see. I thought they might have called on Chase. They don't.
Jim Egan coming off along with the Gates. Dumpson.
Penalty called against Syracuse. Number 9, Jim Egan. 1 minute.
Oh, that's what they got him for. They got him for the slash
1 minute
before that.
slashing penalty called against Syracuse.
Egan getting used to taking a turn in the
Sin bin. He's in the sin bin. Huh?
Yeah, the sin bin. Right.
Rutgers looking to make it 4 consecutive goals in this game. They have indeed outplayed Syracuse in this third quarter. Moore, Tortorella.
Nice slide.
Taken away from him by McNamara. And Syracuse's McCabe on the outlet. Scaramuzino. He's got Chase ahead of him. McNamara behind him. He shoots. He scores. Steve Scaramuzino scores.
I believe that's his 5th goal this season. That's his first in the game.
You're right about that. It is goal number 5.
West Genesee product who started someplace else, ended up back at Syracuse. Tremendous intensity, one of the co-captains, and really gets a whip on that big stick.
Steve Scaramuzino.
And he got an assist today.
Unassisted. Goal scored by Scaramuzino makes the score Syracuse.
One of the
21,
Syracuse
Rutgers
co-captains,
8.
along with John Zoberti. Syracuse leading it now 21 to 8.
There was a play on right there. There was the play on. Steve Miller made the call. Ball was down. He got pushed. He wanted to make sure that they had an offensive opportunity. When they lost it, he stopped it and gave possession to Syracuse. There's John Desko, one of the assistants. There's Tom Hayes. Down by 13 with 5.5 left in the third quarter. There's the ball down. There's the push, and the ball was loose. They gave him the opportunity.
Tom Hayes, by the way, is his 15th year as the Rutgers head coach. Quick move by Hotailing. Even with a goal, gives it up. Egan fanned on the shot. Bonacci's in there. There's Rutgers, Steve Berkeley on the outlet. Up ahead they go quickly. Under 5 to go in the game. Wonder if Tom Hayes told him, forget about the score and just start this one off like it's a new game.
Yeah, let's see what we can do in the second game.
DeSico and Tortorella, you got to give them a lot of credit. They're hustling. Here's an opportunity, but the slot man was shoved down. And a delayed call as Rogers hit the deck, courtesy of Schluter, pushed from behind. Some of the players laughing about that.
You know what that, Dave? It's like one of those pass interference jobs, you know, when you've got nothing else to do. When the man's wide open, and he's got position on you. You see it right there. He just said, well, if he's going to get the pass, maybe I can get away with this because he's got me beat. He had the position, so man up goals, 1 of 6 for Rutgers. Syracuse really hitting them 6 on 9. Why isn't Schluter out? Oh, no possession. That's right.
4.5 to go in the third quarter. It's 21-8. Cunningham and Scaramuzino. They're graduates of West Genesee High School. Lee Hine has been in the nets for this entire third quarter. We'll probably see Jerry DiLorenzo in the fourth. There's a save and a big hit from behind. A takeaway. Quick stick. Hine is there for the save. Hine with the outlet. Misplayed and regained by Schluter. Schluter breaking downfield, being pursued from behind. He's dumped. Got the ball away nicely to Hoteling. Loose play now at both ends. Egan. And the shot is wide by Brooke Chase. Menachie, Cahey, and Earl Hall. Second midfield coming on.
There's Hine, come up with his second save. Oh, check that. 7th save. Yeah, I was just looking at the wrong number.
He's had an eventful third quarter.
Well, he had a flurry there. I know he had. I should have said his second save on that particular offensive thrust by Rutgers.
Tim Pritz with it now, number 32. Both teams making changes now as Rutgers works on their clear.
That's right. They're going to work on things. They want to make sure that they get out of this game with some valuable teamwork. Long pass. Syracuse always aggressive on the ride, Dave, as they just challenge everybody. I've never really seen them. But this is about the loosest as they get. Then they start chasing and making things happen.
This wasn't always a part of Syracuse's game plan, but in recent years, it's been quite effective. Landed now against Cunningham.
You see some skills there, how quickly you have to stop, how quickly you have to be able to change direction and get stick on stick. Defender on the offensive man. See why he changed direction, and the defender has to change his stick. Right there
is the steal. Beautiful steal by Syracuse. Sean McGowan, the freshman, taking it away, giving it to Brooke Chase. McGowan fills the middle. Like a fast break, he just kept on going. Now Scaramuzino loses it. McGowan's going to hustle back to get across field. Schluter's on. They get the ball quickly down. There's a shot. Score! Rutgers taking advantage of catching Syracuse in transition. And DeSico scores to make it 21-9.
DeSico, a nice shot. Hine, who, as you said, has been busy, couldn't put the stick on that one, and he's a little upset with himself. Here's the end zone look in slow motion. DeSico makes a move on Schluter, takes a left-handed shot while he's running. Difficult to stop because it's difficult for the goalie to gauge when the ball is going to be released.
So Andy DeSico with 3 goals, 21-9. Score creeping back toward respectability.
Rutgers goal scored by number 20.
Anton Shermer loses. Mike McGee in pursuit, number 43. He's got it. Puts it in the stick of Paul Gate.
Those guys don't quit.
Finding Gary, stops on the dime. He's into the slot behind the back. A la Marichek. Deflected, run down by Gary. And with Eckert there. Is he persistent? Sure is, huh? Still with the ball. Now they take it away.
Seen lots of different faces. The Gates getting a little more run. Dumpson going to sinking back in. Now he plays defense on Rinaldi.
Rinaldi back in the game. Nice to see that. Fusilli has it. Moore comes on. Rutgers trying to hit double figures.
They got no big sticks in there against him, so they're trying to get a shot off.
Spin move by Walsh intended for Rinaldi. And Paul Gate trying to pull it in. Paul has it. Down he goes. Up in the air. Syracuse's Dumpson with a shove. And a It's caught by the upfield official.
Syracuse gets big sticks on. Dan Lannon and Schluter out as Rodney Dumpson will take a little rest. He actually played well defensively. There's a nice chop on the stick. And there's Dumpson with a bit of a push.
There's a shot and a save and a flag. 8 saves by Lee Hine. He's allowed 4 goals in this third quarter. It's been all his quarter in the nets.
Dan Lannon going to come out. Technical foul on a push, 30. So Syracuse will be man down, and it'll be the 7th man up opportunity for Rutgers. As we said, lots of Syracuse players getting in the game, but you're still going to see the players take their runs. The Gates have played. Scaramazino, the big sticks in.
Penalty called against Syracuse.
Rinaldi, Tortorella, Luciano, Fusilli,
Dan Cahey.
Moore.
32nd technical foul against the Orangemen.
Shot and a save, I believe, by Lee Hine, and then deflecting back and out of bounds. Rutgers keeps it. That's a high shot by DeSico. Luciano back there again.
Hung the stick out, and McCabe got a stick on it.
Here's Luciano faking, going to Tortorella, and it hit the side of the cage. Schluter has it now with 15 seconds to go in the quarter. This is the third quarter winding down. Scaramazino trying to outlet it. Garrygate has it, sends it back. McNamara killing time, and the third quarter has come to an end with Syracuse leading Rutgers 21-9. Back in the Carrier Dome, we still have more. 21-9 Syracuse after 3 quarters. Syracuse led 19-5 at the half, so Rutgers did outscore Syracuse in that third quarter. And as expected, the new Syracuse goalie is 00 Jerry DiLorenzo.
Syracuse new face-off man, Matt Moore. Big kid, 6'2", 200 pounds, out of Fayetteville, Manlius.
Let's check the Rutgers net and see if they have substituted in net.
No, they still got Schmunk down there. Fusilli's still out there. He's gotten a lot of action today. There's a face-off.
There he is. Moore picking it up, getting it to Fusilli. Changing directions on Bonacci for a low dribbler. Moore in there, batted it away from the crease. And Syracuse comes upfield now. Matt Moore. Good
Nice
look at that check. Scott Moore picks it up. Tries to get it to DeSico. He does. DeSico moving by Amaya. Feeding beautifully in front for the score. Terrific goal. Greg Rinaldi gets it off a tremendous assist.
I think that's his 4th, and they really got down in the hole and able to get the pass to Rinaldi. As it was a fast break, Amaya chasing DeSico, and then he looked and he got Rinaldi. Nice look, and Rinaldi just able to get off a not an especially hard shot, but DiLorenzo not able to handle it.
So it is now 21-10.
Rutgers goals scored by
DiLorenzo, only a freshman, 5'10", 180 out of Levittown, New York.
20, Andy DeSico.
Division high school in Levittown.
Now playing
2 Rutgers players collide, but Shermer comes up with it. Shermer to Fusilli. Nice feed down the slot. They may have passed it one too many times and lost the shot. They still have possession. Spinning move. DeSico with a quick stick shot on the goalie DiLorenzo. Rutgers will keep it. Matt Walsh, number 7, is in. The ADP 3-quarter statistics. Syracuse only got a handful of shots in that third quarter.
Yep, 45-29. Saves 12-7, and actually I believe Hine had 7, and the rest of the stats speak for themselves. Faceoffs have been dominated by Syracuse, and Pratt and his wingmen, the brothers Gate. And you hear the push there, which means don't let him get any closer. Push him out. Make him take an outside shot or get rid of the ball.
Spinning like a whirling dervish is Locker. He loses his man, and he has the ball for the left-handed shot. It hit a defenseman. Rutgers rebounds.
That was Simmons, number 40, that he beat. And now beat out high. Simmons again.
Beeler gave it up. Save in there nicely by DiLorenzo. And an interception by Beeler off the backhanded pass. DeSico poke checked away from him. Cunningham, number 9. Beeler, 22. Ball up in the air. Ball out of bounds. Ball belongs to Rutgers.
Double O in Jerry DiLorenzo.
Freshman from Levittown, Long Island. "13 minutes to go in this one. 21-10. DeSico changing direction but losing the ball. Nice job defensively by Bill Tully.
DiLorenzo into it.
Here he comes from behind. They're going to get him. The net is empty. There's a defenseman back in there now. Walsh with the feed, and Rutgers with the score. Tortorella with the score. It was Walsh, I believe, who knocked the ball away, and then he came up with the feed.
Bill Winship was playing goal, as I'm sure they'll look at the tapes of this and say, Jerry, you got to get rid of the ball a little earlier. Watch, there's the shot on Winship. I like it when he got in there. Oh, there's the check. Nice job. Yeah, it was Walsh. And then he started it all and gave it up. And there's Winship. He's going to appreciate what it's like to be a goalie. That's an awful big area, especially when you got one of those little heads on the stick.
I tell you, if I'm a defenseman and I'm back there in that posture, I'd rather come out and take a run at the player rather than wait for the shot.
Well, he must have played in the goal. He was checking himself where he was by hitting the pipes with a stick.
21-11 is the score. Rinaldi not happy with what has just happened.
Rinaldi with 4 goals, and the knee seems to be all right. Slender-legged.
Rutgers goals scored by number
Greg
17,
Rinaldi out of Fayetteville Manly High School. Take a rest.
Assisted by number 7, Matt Walsh. Tortorella from Walsh.
Syracuse will have one home game remaining in the regular season. That'll be an outdoors game coming up at Coyne Field next week. We'll have that one for you on many of these same cable stations you're watching right now. Mark Hoteling, number 13. Behind the cage he goes to Brooke Chase. Played by Tim Pritz. Knocked away from him by Pritz, regained by Chase. Rifles it to Bonacci for the score. Joe Bonacci at the back door. All they have to do is catch it and drop it by the goalie Schmuck.
Both kids from the same high school, Chase and Bonacci. Chase had it knocked away, but then watch Bonacci streak in. He sees him, he's got him beat. He gets the ball out as he got a jump on Berkeley, 28. And Schmunk not able to stop that one. 22nd goal for Syracuse. 12 minutes left. Bonacci on the season. 4 goals, no assists.
Transfer from Navy. 22-11 is the score. A whistle on the faceoff.
Landing in a little early on that from the wing, I believe.
It's really been a symphony today of whistles.
Yeah.
Syracuse goals scored by number 1, Joe Bonacci. Assisted by number 2, Brooke Chase. Bonacci from Chase. That makes it Syracuse 22, Rutgers 11.
Matt Moore in defensively now for Syracuse. Simmons has been in, along with 39, Bill Williams.
And a beautiful one-on-one move by Matt Walsh. He gets the score, and it is 22-12. And there's a contingent of Rutgers fans here who have applauded the efforts of the Scarlet Knights.
Well, I think I agree with you. I think they went in at halftime and said, let's play a different game and see if we can win the second game. And I think that's been their philosophy. Granted, Syracuse has played a lot of people, but there's Walsh as he comes around, and nice dodge, just rolled back inside and came up with the
Rutgers
12th goal for Rutgers.
Matt Walsh, unassisted. Goal scored by number 7, Matt Walsh. That makes it Syracuse 22, Rutgers 12.
And here's Rinaldi firing, and a save is made by DiLorenzo, but a flag had been down, and the whistle would have made it moot.
There was a hold by Anton Shermer on Syracuse's Mike McGee after the faceoff. Get the call made.
Bob Smith, his pass is intercepted by Rogers. He feeds down into the slot. Neslonsky lost it from behind. A lot of hacking in there for the loose ball. Syracuse comes out of there with a beautiful spinning move by one of the Tullys. He is a big target. Either one is. That was Bill Tully, 45. Getting a little chippy now. A little ragged.
It's a good word. I like that, chippy. It is. And they've got a lot of new people in Syracuse, especially. Lots of people coming out and now
Fans this afternoon's
moving
attendance for today's football lacrosse doubleheader inside the Carrier Dome, 7,394. 7,300.
hacking and hewing, and there's the move right there that cost Syracuse possession. You know, you wonder.
Whoa! A gamble by Chase. He lost the stick. A flag flies. Almost gets hit by the flag.
You can't throw your stick. I don't think he did it on purpose. So that'll give him a man up. Technical foul. You know what he did is he reached up to stop the pass, and it flew right out of his hand. And the official says, well, you know, the intent isn't something I can really rule on. It's whether or not you threw your stick, and he did.
Like throwing your glove at a line drive.
Yeah.
Which is illegal, by the way. 22-12. We've got 10:42 to play.
Penalty called against Syracuse. 30-second technical
Andy
foul.
DeSico with it
Stick.
now.
Number 2, Brooke Chase.
They're working around with an
30-second
extra man
technical foul
opportunity.
called against Syracuse.
Rutgers did this very deliberately and very well early in the game, but it was still a contest.
Yeah, when they were 2 men up and they got a goal out of it, and we said they needed to get that for their confidence at that time, but the roof fell in shortly thereafter. Or the dome collapsed on them. They're even now.
And they do not get a shot.
Now see what DiLorenzo's going to learn here as he gets out is when to come out and when to stay in.
Syracuse steals it, helping DiLorenzo out. Pat McCabe is still in the game. Now with a nice fake. Gives it up. Here's Gary Gate. The crowd roars as he gets it. Oh, Paul Gate, or Brooke Chase sneaking in from behind. 9.5 minutes to go now.
Moreau started this for Rutgers, but I think it's going to be off his stick. Yes, it is. So it will be Syracuse ball.
And we've got a timeout taken by Tom Hayes and Rutgers with 9:29 to play in the game. It is 22-12.
Rutgers.
There's the line score. Quarters 6-5, 13-0, 2-4, and so far 1-3 in the fourth. There's your totals, 22-12.
Rutgers winning the second half convincingly.
Yeah, they just say we had 2 games up there. We lost the first one, we won the second one. Well, it's not over yet, but there's Roy Simmons Jr. Very much, as you said, concerned with the future of the game and how rules and things should be changed. He and a lot of people, but Dave Urich from up at Hobart of the same mind on how to keep the game interesting.
Syracuse into a weave now, like a basketball play here. And a flag is down.
That's going to be, it's going to be a hold? Well, slash. Incidentally, while you look at man ups, this will be Syracuse's 10th opportunity. and Rutgers has had 8. There's 18 man-ups. That doesn't say anything about how many non-possession penalties. It's been a lot of time out for assessment of penalties.
Eckert, by the way, is the man penalized for the 3rd time in the game.
Yeah, that was
penalty
the first
called against Rutgers. 1 minute slashing penalty.
2 more.
Against number 36, Jim Eckert. Penalty called against Rutgers. 1 minute for slashing.
Rodney Dumpson picks up the loose ball. The gates are on with Maricek. Could be fun time again. Maricek feeding in the slot. Low one. And Greg Burns going for personal high of 4 goals in the game.
You can see the smiles. Just going to say, you can see the smiles right through the masks and the tooth protectors. A little too much on that.
Zilberti trying to hit Paul Gate.
Zilberti with his new sneakers on because he hurt his ankle. Need a little more support than the sneakers he used to wear, so he's got a little more padding. Took a slash on the ankle. Doesn't seem like he's been here forever.
Eight and a half minutes to go in what has been a long afternoon for Rutgers. After the first quarter, Maricek's going to take a run at Moreau. Burns, Lannon, Zilberti, Dennis Simmons in the game. Here comes Schmunk out of the cage. Schmunk to midfield. Gives it up. Fusilli has worked hard all game. Nice feed in the slot.
Oh, very tough. Very tough. Nothing DiLorenzo could do. Moore cranked that from 15 yards out and went high.
Now it's 22-13.
There's the give, and there's the shot. Here it is again. There's the face-off man. Fusilli will get an assist. And the crank, and very high, up over the shoulder of DiLorenzo.
I'll tell you, though, one thing, after this game is over, I don't want to read about a letdown.
No.
Because
that's right.
They left the first team, and it could have been named that score.
Assisted by number 33.
That wouldn't have been good for Rutgers. It wouldn't have been good for Syracuse.
And Syracuse 22, Rutgers 13.
Rutgers missing a golden opportunity to get their 14th goal in there. DiLorenzo on the outlet.
Still
McGowan.
working. Yeah, still working. Syracuse hustle on the clear, and of course they're hustling on the ride.
Todd Stratton giving it up. 41 is Brian Tully. 30 is Dan Cahey. He legs it across. Spins free. Taken away. Here's a transition for Rutgers. It's 4-on-3. Moore is hit. The pass is interrupted. Rinaldi trying to run it down. He hits the deck, as does Walsh, and Syracuse's Earl Hall has it. Now back comes Earl Hall. The crowd that's remained is up and hooting, anticipating a score of some kind. And a beautiful feed, and little John Godwin pulls it down, and he scores from Nick Boynton. Godwin reached up high and pulled it down in one motion, and he scores.
They got him listed at 5'8", 150 pounds. Watch him go up high in the air. Good spring. Boop. Quick stick.
So Goodwin gets the goal. It goes to 23-13.
Goodwin, you'll see the pass, and watch him. All that 5'8", extended up, got the ball, and the piano player from Baldwinsville. I say piano player, he's a music major and an excellent pianist. And not a bad lacrosse player either. 3 goals, no assists on the year.
Fusilli winning his own face and carrying it in. And that may be an errant pass, but Walsh runs it down. Nice change of direction by Walsh. 23-13. There's Walsh going for a solo, and he did not get it. The net bounced. Cunningham.
No.
Goodwin has it. Goodwin really moving. Knocked away from him by Eckert. Eckert throws a body into another Syracuse player. He may be penalized again.
Syracuse goal scored by number 3, John Goodwin.
That's going to be Eckert.
Assisted by number 5, Nick Boynton. Goodwin from Boynton.
I believe that's Eckert's
Syracuse
fourth personal.
23, Rutgers 13.
Nope, hold. Doesn't even count. John Desko with the pen behind his ear, checking things out. Longtime assistant. Really likes his relationship with the head coach and has a lot of input.
Syracuse sends on their power play team. Maricek, Zilberti, the Gates, Gary Gate. And that was Greg Burns who got the goal, his 4th of the game. And I think they were trying to set him up. That's a record-setting performance personally now for Greg Burns, who gets his 4th goal of the game.
That was Syracuse's 11th man-up opportunity in the game. They're going to see the look as Zilberti's going to pick up an assist. He's got a parcel of them today.
Let's see, that must be what, 7?
I think that's his 7th assist.
That would give him a new personal high of 10 points in the game.
Yep, 3 and 7.
How do you pick the outstanding player for this game? Goodwin again pulling down a high pass. And the score by Syracuse. Andy Bolin gets it.
There it is, ground level look. Goodwin got rid of it back there, and there it is, Bolin. Andy Bolin, a freshman out of DeWitt, JD High School.
25-13.
And he's point blank.
Goal scored by number 25.
Shot number 50.
Assisted by number 5.
50 shots, 25 goals.
And Syracuse is equal their high performance for the year.
Goal scored by number 14, Greg Burns.
Face-offs almost mirror the score, 26-16.
Burns' 4th goal of the afternoon. John Zilberti's 7th assist.
Zilberti with a 10-point game. 1955, the last time Rutgers defeated Syracuse in this sport. Tortorella with a goal.
Nice move by Tortorella. He was on Brian Tully, freshman out of Camillus, 6'3", 228, and he just made a nice little move. There it is right there. At this point, DiLorenzo was saying, hold. Right there. Don't let him get any closer. And let's see how he moves. Rolls back inside. Can't get a stick up on him, and he puts it on that far pipe on the onside or the right-hand side of the right-handed goalie. And they have left pretty much Fusilli in there for face-offs. And he gets another one late in the game against Cannon.
They took it away from him just as quickly, and he goes back and takes it from Cannon. With 5.5 to go, you cannot tell this game is one-sided. Rinaldi in a play-on situation, leaving Laundry all over the place. And I'll tell you, it would have been poetic justice if he could have scored there.
Well, there's 2 rule changes. One is the play-on, and the other one is the slow whistle, and the flag was down. It used to be just in the offensive end. When it happened in the defensive end, it used to be a whistle to stop play. On that particular occasion, they let it go on, let him go down, not to take the scoring opportunity away. And then the play on can be where someone gets pushed and they haven't lost possession, or the ball's down, no possession, and then they let him go to see who gets possession. If the man who was fouled picks it up, they don't stop it. It makes the game move on a little bit faster.
Sure hope Rinaldi gets to go home for a home-cooked meal, maybe a chance to sleep in the old bed, because he's earned it.
Yeah, he sure has. Watch this. There it is.
He's lucky he's standing. He's less of a target. 5 minutes and just a few more seconds left in this game. It's 25-14. DeSico to Moore. Even with a goal is Luciano. in the middle. Big hit. Big hit against Beeler. Now we're under the 5-minute mark. Rutgers this year scored 33 goals against Whittier of California. Then they came back with 32 against Fairleigh Dickinson, 32-1.
About that Sonoma game.
27-5. So they know
defense up there at Sonoma.
They know what it is to be on the other side of a one-sided affair. There's a nice goal. It's Bonacci again.
New goalie in for Rutgers. I just noticed Kyle Kirst. I wonder when he was going to get in. Out of Huntington, but there's a nice goal for the young man. Watch Bonacci.
Bonacci and Rinaldi battling there.
Yep. He really hid that. He hid that shot until the last minute and was moving when he took it. Rinaldi gives him a little aluminum. There it is, released just to the right of the goalie's stick.
Faked Eckert out too, the defenseman.
Absolutely.
Fusilli wins the face.
Syracuse goal scored by number 1, Joe Bonacci.
They feed it across and out of bounds.
Joe Bonacci with the goal.
We've talked a lot about face-offs. It's now 27-18 in favor of Syracuse, but you know, when they needed it, I think Syracuse ran off about 10 of 12, and that's very, very important.
Well, with the score 26-14, we have a strategic timeout taken with 4 minutes and 3 seconds remaining. Don't forget, Syracuse will again be in action at home against the University of Pennsylvania. That'll be at Coyne Field Saturday, April the 29th. That'll be a 2 o'clock game. You can see it where you're watching right now. Check the local listings for the time and place in your area. After that, Syracuse will play at the University of Massachusetts on May the 6th. Then the NCAA playoffs begin. First round action scheduled on May the 17th. Second round on the 21st. Semis and finals, Final Four of college lacrosse, May 27th and 29th. We'll be selecting the Pepsi Player of the Game at the conclusion of this contest. And we'd like to hear your comments. Drop us a line, care of Super Sports, Cook Cablevision of Syracuse, 500 South Salina Street, Syracuse 13202.
New goalie, as I said, in for Rutgers, Kyle Kirst, Jr., and they left Schmuck in a long time. They took, I think it's 50 shots at Schmuck and 1 at Kirst.
Four minutes and 3 seconds to go. This game played as part of the doubleheader of the spring football game. Attendance today just over 7,000.
Syracuse players signing some autographs. Young
Either
lacrosse
that or
fans.
he's trying to get a paper in that's due this weekend.
Nope.
It's an autograph.
Yep.
They don't charge for them either. Under 4 minutes to go. It's 26-14. Got many candidates for the Pepsi Player of the Game. Paul Gate, Tom Maricek, John Gilberti, Kirk Pratt.
Well, let me see what we got here.
An offsides
yep.
call at midfield.
You know, I'd really put a vote in, at least now to think about it. No, maybe I'll change my mind, but Kirk Pratt, very impressive when they needed face-offs. He got them all. Of course, he gets a lot of help from his wingmen, too, so it's very difficult, especially in this kind of a game. But I'd like to mention Kirk.
Well, Fusilli did not get anywhere near the 84% that he came in winning.
30-second technical foul.
As I said, when they needed him, I think Pratt came up with about 10 of 12. Ooh, ball down. Di Lorenzo looking for some help. He gets it. McCabe.
McNamara has it now. He'll go cross field.
McNamara's.
McCabe back in there now?
Yeah.
Wasn't he just signing autographs? Was that him or somebody else?
No, I think it was him.
Down the sideline, Scarmazzino. He had a man open right in the slot. I think they're going to run some clock here. Goodwin.
They got Robinson there, 37. He's 5'8". This looks like Smurf midfield and attack.
Nick Boynton, number 5, is in the game. He had the fine assist earlier. 2 bodies go down, ball loose. And it's in the cage. It's swept in there like a hockey backhand.
George Clements, 28. Call those garbage goals.
Clements getting his 2nd goal of the year. (27-14). First of the game. Highest Syracuse output of the year. And getting close to Syracuse's all-time record.
I was going to say 3 off the record, correct?
30 is the Syracuse record.
Syracuse goal scored by number 28, George Clements.
I get the idea they could have had it today if they wanted it. There's Nick Boynton. He's into the slot. He's in the clear. Nice save by the defense.
Somebody got to stick up. I don't know if it was Hurst.
Syracuse 27, Rutgers
but Boynton, a sophomore out of Concord, Mass, got the shot off and cursed the goalie, or someone got a stick up on it, wrote it up over the goal.
In 1955, Rutgers' last win, they beat Syracuse 23-19. Those were the days, obviously, before artificial surfaces.
Yeah, and those were the wooden sticks and big old 10-pound cleats on your feet.
Only once before Syracuse scored more than 20, and that was in 1983. Wasn't that the championship season?
Yeah.
21-13 that year.
Ball out of bounds, so with 1:47 left, we'll see a change. Now we're down to the time, Dave, when people come in with numbers and you can't find them on the...
Syracuse got 27 goals against Pennsylvania a couple of years ago. 1985. Minute and a half to go. Moreau. Locker outside. In front, no shot. Rebound is wide, but Rutgers will keep it with 1:08 remaining.
One thing I'll say, Rutgers started out, I think, playing a little bit of some zone defense, but you know, when you get up like that, you've got to make things happen. So Syracuse, after the roof fell in on them, I think they just had to do the best they could, and they have done pretty well offensively in this last quarter.
By the way, the 14 goals scored by Rutgers equals Johns Hopkins 14, the most against Syracuse this year. Well, they get one more. They can say they scored more in Syracuse than anybody else. Small consolation, I suppose. Under a minute to go.
Syracuse's second team could play a pretty representative schedule, I think.
Locker spins, Locker shoots, he scores, and there it is, the 15th goal.
There's the sophomore, 5'9", 155, out of Westfield, New Jersey, and there's the coach, who has got to be, I guess, somewhat satisfied with his team's performance in the second half. He did not see all the first stringers against him, but he did see the Gates on occasion, and Marechek's been quiet. At least at this point in the game. He certainly was loud before.
Everybody overruns it, and it's rolling out of bounds, which will stop the clock one more time.
Rutgers goal scored by number 23, Steve Locker.
There's
Assisted by
Zilberti.
number 13, Steve Luciano. That makes it Syracuse 27, Rutgers 15.
Birdie may have gotten shaken up behind the in the neck area. He's showing some of his teammates.
Worried about his golf game.
Perhaps. Walsh, pretty good one-on-one player around the cage. The deal behind the Luciano. Back to Walsh. Gets away from him, and it is all over. Syracuse defeats Rutgers 27-15. Long afternoon for Tom Hayes. Went downhill in a hurry. Roy Simmons victorious
score, Syracuse 27,
in the 251st game of his era at Syracuse. And we'll be back with our Pepsi Player of the Game selection right after this. Well, no intrigue or suspense about the winner of this game after the first quarter. Syracuse winning at 27-15. But the votes are still being counted up till the last moment here as to who the Pepsi Player of the Game is, and we just don't know until they roll it and show it to us, and you'll know as we know. So without further ado, the Pepsi Player of the Game is
John Zilberti, number 11.
Number 11 there. 3 goals and 7 assists.
That's just fantastic. He's on top of his game, and there's one of his rebounds, actually save.
Well, he got the assist on the goal.
Right. I had to check that. Yes, actually, that was the one where he got the assist. And here's a behind-the-back pass from Paulgate. And then this is the goal where he beats Schmunk.
A little wraparound shot there, so it was close. A little campaigning for a couple of people in the interim, but there is your Pepsi Player of the Game, John Zilberti, with a change of sneakers at halftime and all. 3 goals, 7 assists, as Syracuse defeats Rutgers by the final score of 27-15. Hope you enjoyed it wherever you're watching today from Super Sports. And a reminder to be with us when Syracuse meets the Penn Quakers. Game to be played at Coyne Field on April the 29th. Check the local listings for the time and place in your area. Syracuse 27, Rutgers 15. The Orangemen are now 9-1. Rutgers goes to 8-4. Now speaking for Dale Drypolcher, this is Dave Cohen thanking you for joining us and reminding you to be with us all season long. This has been a presentation of Super Sports and Cook Cablevision of Syracuse.